the world's most feared fast bowlers. And it took Shaheen Shah Afridi just one game to make his mark for the Desert Vipers, ripping through the Gulf Giants and helping his team to their first win of the season. Hasaranga's also on fire and will be hoping he can overpower Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, who've suffered back-to-back losses. The Knight Riders need a win and will take confidence from their victory over the Vipers last weekend. Can they repeat, or will Munro's men fight back? We're back at the Zayed Cricket Stadium for match number 10 as the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders take on the Desert Vipers. It's already the second clash between these two sides. The Knight Riders getting the victory this time around, but they've lost their last two matches and sit bottom of the table and need inspiration. The Vipers also have 2 points after beating the Giants convincingly and will be hoping to gather some momentum and climb their way up the table. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Abu Dhabi. It's the first match of Super Saturday. The star-studded sides have arrived and are ready to put on a show. It's also our first afternoon game here in Abu Dhabi, and the crowds are starting to come in and ready for a very exciting afternoon that's going to be here for cricket in Abu Dhabi. Before we get into it, let's go to Darren Ganga, who's with our captains for the toss.
It's an absolute pleasure to stand with the captains before the start of match number 10 of the DP World ILT20. Sunil Narine of the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, Colin Munro of the Desert Vipers, and Steve Bernard on match referee. Home team, let's get it going. Move it.
Heads.
Call is made.
That's a tail.
So Sunil, you win the toss. Tell me what are you going to do and tell me why.
We're going to have a bowl first, try to restrict them with a low total and try to have a good chase at the end.
It's the first day match at this venue this season. Does that change your plans and execution?
No, I think it's the same way. I think you have to execute all the plans you come up with and try to give a good show. And I think it looks like a good surface, so it should be the same for the 40 overs. So you just continue.
Okay, you had the chance of playing this opposition in the last game. What's going to be critical again for you to have a successful outcome?
I think picking up early wickets. I think they have some new faces from the first game, so we had that to look at. But I think once we pick up early wickets and keep that momentum, I think it's going to do well for us.
You lead the wicket taking for your side. You're the captain of this side. I've played a lot of cricket alongside you, and for the last 2 decades, you've bamboozled batters with good economy. How has Sunil Narine changed as a bowler from the mid-2000s to now?
I'll probably bowling a little more on the spot, on the money. I think not trying too much at a young age. You know, you could try a lot to try to play good cricket, but I think the Olaf got to try to keep it a little more simple, and I think simple is the way forward.
And have you made any significant changes to your team for this game?
We're bowling first, so Merchant is in for just little.
Okay, all the very best. Let's get Colin Munro in here. Colin, I think we'll use my mic. I'll use that for you. Happy for you to bat first?
No, we would have done what they're doing. I think here early doors it does a little bit, and it gets a little bit flatter. But whatever we do now, obviously batting, we've got to put up some runs on the board, especially against these boys. They got a dangerous side. I know they've lost their last 2, but you know, looking through, they've got a well-balanced batting line up there too, and bat all the way down.
Just 2 matches for you this season, 1 win, 1 loss. You played against this opposition. What improvements are required for you to secure a different outcome against the Knight Riders?
Well, I don't think it's anything to do with skills. It was the attitude in the field. I thought in the first game, and we've addressed that, and we came out and we won the next game, and I thought our attitude and everything was on par. That's the line in the sand that I said to the boys after the last game, and hopefully we can just keep getting better and better. I don't expect us to go out there and play the perfect game all the time, because that's not cricket. We understand that, but you know, if the attitude and we play the smile on our face and try and entertain and play our brand of cricket, then 9 times out of 10 we'll come out on the winning side.
Well, all the very best to you and your team.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Right, the news from the middle. It's the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders who've won the toss and they will bowl first.
Well, thank you, Darren. Now the Knight Riders have won the toss and chosen to bowl. We have lots coming your way on Cricket Safari today. Shaheen Shah Afridi is in the house. Will he cause nightmares for the Knight Riders? Yes. We get an insight into Andre Russell's brutal training regime. And Sherfin Rutherford reflects on that iconic match-winning knock on one leg last season. On this cricket safari, to make it more fun, joining me, Rohan Gavaskar and Simon Dool. How's it going, boys? First afternoon game in Abu Dhabi. It's hot.
Yeah, look, I actually think it's great weather to play cricket. Lovely to be out here in the sun. Sun's out, jacket's out. This is what we like. So, look, great conditions to have a game of cricket. Sunil Narine's won the toss, decided that he'll bowl first. I think good decision. What do you think, Dooley?
Yeah, look, I think bowling first has been the way. Chasing it seems to have been a little bit better in all the venues that we've been to. The crack side, I think they really are a crack side, this Vipers, particularly their bowling attack. So look forward to seeing what they can maybe do later on in the piece. Got to put runs on the board, and I think on this sort of surface we'll hear from the boys momentarily, but you know, 175, 180 is probably a minimum in an afternoon game. Different breeze today too. We've got more of a desert breeze, a bit of sand blowing across the ground rather than the normal breeze that blows down the ground.
And talking about that desert breeze, Shaheen Shah Afridi, the superstar that he is, how good is he? Let's talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, look, he's just a genuine gun. World-class bowler, test matches, T20, ODI cricket. We know how good he is. I just love the fact there is a Pakistan influence now in this tournament. That's the key for me. It's not just Shaheen, it's the other Pakistan players that are here. Great to have them as part of another tournament outside of their PSL. They don't get too many opportunities around the world, so I'm really, really stoked to have the likes of him and Amir and Azam Khan and Shadab here. I think it's brilliant for the tournament in general.
Absolutely, and just having a lot of Pakistani players, like you said, it sort of helps them with their bonding as well as a side and team.
Well, if you look at the Desert Vipers, they've got 3 Pakistanis playing, maybe 4. Azam Khan did really well in that game. We saw Shaheen Shah Afridi with what he did, but Azam Khan was another who came to the side and played a nice little cameo. We know what Mohammad Amir can do with his left arm pace. So look, as you rightly said, you know, you have a nice little mix. That bonding helps. But what you really want is your superstar players to put their hand up and put in a performance, and which is what they did in that last game.
And now talking about performance, it's the first afternoon game in Abu Dhabi. We wonder what the pitch is like, and that's why we have the best man, Danny Morrison, with the pitch report.
Sun's out, guns are out too, you better believe it. I do like the look of this, 22 yards, because it's an even covering of grass here. Now then, they have won the toss and they've stuck the Vipers in. They did beat them on another day game. But when I look at the way Abu Dhabi Knight Riders played at this venue against left armers, got real issues because they lost all 10 wickets to the left armers because they bowl full. And I think on this pitch, you need to be able to bowl full. And you think that Trent bowled, you think of Akil Hussain even, they got it full, didn't they? And that was the trick, up in that nice area that's full, get the ball to swing, get the ball to curve, all those sorts of things. But hey, when I look at it here, Dooley's mentioned here, average first inning score of all games, even night games, just over 150. You're going to have to get more than 150 in these gorgeous conditions because it really is a treat to be back out in the middle and for the players.
Well, like we heard from Danny, our best man. Now, these are the only teams that have played each other before, and the Knight Riders won the last time they played the Vipers. Now, talking about the last game that the Knight Riders had, not so positive for them, but that Hayne and Evans partnership was good. Let's talk about Sam Hayne.
Yeah, very good. I mean, he's a quality player, came into the game, into the tournament under some real pressure and poor form, but 2020 is so fickle when it comes to scoring runs. You don't feel like you're ever really out of it, and you may be 1 innings away from it. 0-0, 1-0, I think he came into this innings, and he just looked the goods. He plays really well square of the wicket. So for me, you've got to get fuller to Sam Hayne. You've got to get him driving down the ground, and that partnership I thought was brilliant. It helped the Knight Riders to a decent score. It just wasn't to be enough.
And now talking about another Knight Rider who's really important when it comes to performing on the big stage. This man does not shy away, and he is a mean beast with his preparation.
You know the difference between you and greatness? Comfort zone. Get out of it.
I will train so hard that those around me think I'm insane. I will push myself beyond my limits every day and refuse to let any obstacle stand in my way. I will work harder than everyone else through my relentless pursuit of perfection and strength. I will become unstoppable, and those who thought I was crazy will soon come to respect me. I will not rest until I have conquered everything in my path.
When I choose this, the part that hits me the most, and that's the part where the guy was saying, you know, I would train so hard that they think I'm insane. I remember I used to bowl at one stumps, you know, to bowl at one stump and trying to hit that stump repeatedly. And obviously I didn't have a keeper, and just bowling, missing, and then you have to walk to the other end of the field to retrieve the ball, come back, do the same thing. You know, other guys, you know, in my community, they used to say that I'm crazy because they have never seen that before. Sometimes I'm home, I don't do anything all morning, all day, and I just feel guilty. So I go to the gym at whatever time in the night, and that's how I normally feel good about myself going into the following day. I work out sometime. When I finish, my body is shaking, and I like that feeling. I would definitely feel better knowing that I feel tired and I'm lying on the floor for a good 10-15 minutes.
Well, Andre Russell loves to work out. Can we tell? Gava, do you go to the gym at 3 a.m.?
Oh, you mean you can't tell looking at me? My body's my temple. I work out every day.
Well, your body's a temple, and let me tell you, there's another. Don't go anywhere, because on the other side of the break, we're going to hear from Sherfane Rutherford on his incredible match-winning performance last season on one leg. Welcome back, and now let's take a look at the teams and the playing 11.
Yeah, the Vipers lining up with Colin Munro, Alex Hales, Hose, Rutherford, Mustafa, Azam Khan, who was brilliant the other night. Hasaranga played a real impact innings as well. Shadab more than useful with the bat. Mohamed Amir, Lakra and Shaheen Shah Afridi. So they've got to put runs on the board. They need more from Hales in particular at the top of the order. If they can do that, they'll be away.
Well, if you have a look at the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, batting will depend a lot on how Hayne and Gauss go. Laurie Evans has shown a lot of form, but Andre Russell needs to come to the party. When you have a look at the bowling, Martian DeLong comes in for Josh Little. Ali Khan, the American, has picked up wickets. He looks to be in good form. David Willey, Sunil Narine. A lot will depend on how their captain performs. You expect big performances from Sunil Narine and Andre Russell.
Well, we're only a couple minutes away from live action, but before that, let's hear from one Viper who can turn things up on the big stage. That's Sherfane Rutherford.
What's the plan for season 2?
The plan is one step further, but it's a process. It's just important for us to get a momentum early in the tournament, and then, you know, we can always make our adjustment going through. But it's always good to start well. Hopefully, you know, we can go one step further. When I got the injury for us, you know, I thought I could have go back out to bat, but, you know, my physio told me I'm out of the game. But, you know, I saw the doctor. He gave me a shot, and you know, when he gave me the shot, I feel a bit of less pain. So I'm like, just let me give it a try, and I hit the first ball for 6, and I'm like, okay, this is it. You know, it went well for me. It's an innings that, you know, I always remember. I always look back at it, and you know, it's one that, you know, is rests in my heart, and you know, it's one that I always will cherish.
What a hit! Remarkable batsmanship.
I think injury in cricket is the hardest. It's not easy leaving cricket and come back, because, you know, the work behind the scene is slow, especially when you're doing rehab on an injury that you can't really stress it. So, you know, it was very slow. It was boring. I told myself that, you know, I'm not going to do it, but, you know, for the love of the game, and, you know, I know the importance of me being fit and, you know, getting myself even stronger. So, you know, I just use the opportunity to, you know, get stronger, to work on my fitness, and, you know, hopefully, you know, I can finish this year without an injury. Everyone who plays cricket wants to play World Cup, and, you know, I'm no different. I have the opportunity now. I'm back in the West Indies team. We have one more series before World Cup, so, you know, I'm preparing well. I haven't been sleeping well indeed. I'm excited, being anxious, but you know, it's a process, and I'm willing to take those steps one day at a time, and hopefully, you know, giving myself the best chance by doing preparation. So hopefully, you know, it helps me.
Sherfin Rutherford, wow, that man really knows how to get going. How good was he last season, Dooley?
Yeah, it was brilliant last season. He burst onto the scene at the T20 in Canada as a young player. I remember being at that tournament. He came with the West Indies B-side, scored I think about 230 odd runs in that tournament as a young player, and really set the tournament alight. And he's sort of, I don't know whether he's progressed as much as we would want. He was brilliant last year on one leg. They just need a little bit more consistency from him, but he's a really talented player. He's got all the shots. I think just sometimes he goes searching rather than reacting a little bit, but he's got power, as most of the West Indians do, and does have all the shots as well.
And Gavs, what about Hasaranga? I mean, he did well in the last game, 42.
Yeah, and when he came out to bat, he just got that little bit of momentum going in the innings. He played aggressively. That's what we know Hasaranga can do. When he comes out to bat, generally at number 4, he looks to bat in one way. He looks to bat by putting pressure on the opposition. Doesn't try to build an innings. He tries to just get going from word go. And that's what he did in the last game. And honestly, for me, that was the turning point of the game, because when he came out to bat, it just seemed like they were in a spot of bother. But just the way he batted, transferred the pressure back onto the bowlers, onto the fielding unit, and made sure it was a bit of a cakewalk for the rest of the team.
And now the Vipers obviously losing their last one when they played the Knight Riders. What do they need to do differently today?
Oh, just be better. I think runs on the board are going to be the key. This Knight Riders outfit have an ability to collapse from a batting point of view, so put them under pressure, I guess, with runs on the board. I don't think this is the surface that you can go gung-ho from the top. I think you need to set your innings up a little bit. 40 for 1 after 7 overs, 8 overs even, then you can really backload. And they've got power to be able to do that, the Vipers. But if you go too hard too early with the ball swinging and nipping a little bit while that seam is proud, I think you can find yourself in trouble. So a little bit of caution early on would be the key.
Now, you know, we had that golden hat with the commentators' predictions. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. I really want to see.
Let's not.
For all
Let's
that
not.
talk.
Let's not.
For all that talk. Let's take a look.
Who is on top? Where are you, Gava? You're right at the top? No? This is the predictions for today. Danny Morris and Darren Ganger, they've gone with the Knight Riders.
Ooh.
Our very own Knight Rider and Danny Morris, and yourself, me and Wakar have all gone for the Vipers today.
And let's the leaderboard here, the commentators' predictions leaderboard. Well, Gava, this is just like the Knight Riders. You're at the bottom.
Listen, you know, I've played for one of the Knight Rider teams, and this is in solidarity at the moment.
And Dooley, 100%.
Yeah, well, that might be in trouble today, but, you know, I'm joined with Alan Wilkins, who is the guru, Natalie Germano. She loves a competition, Nat does, I tell you. She loves to win anything, so we've just got to knock her off her perch, I think.
I think it's going to be an incredible game with both people really wanting to get their win today. But let's get right to it. The first afternoon game, the Desert Vipers taking on the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders.